freestyle. But I ain't going to do it. Welcome people, welcome world. This is Cut Different, hashtag Cut Different on all streaming platforms and all social media networks. We have the better late than never, Mr. Lilo in the building. How you doing, sir?
Oh, clap it up.
Nobody likes you already. Nobody likes you.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. Look. I'm glad to be here. You know what I'm saying? You know, Reverend G. You know what I'm saying?
Reverend?
Yes, definitely Reverend. You know what I'm saying? Invited me out. And this is my first time, you know, my first ever podcast, man. To be honest with you, man. Yeah. So, in all honesty, man, I felt like this was a great place to come, get my feet wet, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully, man, we'll have a great podcast, man.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us who Lilo is, other than Lake.
Lilo is low key, a person that I would say very incognito, sticks to himself.
Why is that?
Because of the simple fact that I feel like I can learn different things from different people or different individuals, different spirits. That's one thing that I feel like I'm big on is
it's like that old saying, you listen long enough, they'll tell you who they are.
Yeah, like observation.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very big on observing the scene or the visual, which is kind of like one of the reasons why I kind of got into production or being a producer or audio engineer. Just for that matter, the simple facts of how individuals can manipulate, can brainwash, can
sound a little conspiracy theorist there, don't you?
I wouldn't even say conspiracy theory, man. It's just, you know, like I said before, it's just things that I've really just recognized over time as I've gotten older. Yeah. You know, I feel like with everything that we do as far as life, somebody is watching us, or you know, I feel like
know God is
exactly,
yeah.
You know, and who is God though?
Who is God?
Yeah,
Creator.
The Creator.
Yeah.
Okay, so
what do you want to do? You want to challenge what God is right now?
No, I wouldn't even.
I wouldn't challenge God.
I wouldn't even really say challenge
God. Don't bring
God.
out your unk on this episode right here. Keep your unk to yourself.
Nah, because I'm
the only unk in here right now.
You know, I definitely believe inside God. You know, so I wouldn't say that, but like I said before, when you ask who is Lilo, I guess you could just say a man of observation.
No.
Not even trying to sound too deep, not even trying to sound, you know, all these big words, nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? But just a person that can...
Well, you can definitely just be you on here. You don't have to be all elegant and stuff like that.
Right, and I appreciate that.
So tell us more about Lilo as the producer.
Lilo?
What do you produce?
All type of genres of music.
Music?
Yes. It don't even matter what it is.
Yeah. How you feel about music today?
I feel like it's very manipulated.
Okay. How about we you're trying to push us into your theory of conspiracy. Everything's been tampered with. As far as the sound and the direction that music is going in right now, that in itself, like, how do you feel about it? Like, are you a Lil Baby fan? Are you a Big Baby fan?
Nah.
They got Da Baby. They got a lot of babies out here. The nursery is empty, people. The nursery is empty.
Nah, man.
The babies are running wild.
If anything, man, I'm more of a Currency. Are you familiar with Currency?
I've heard of that name before.
Okay.
I'm not really a rap fan. I'm more like hip hop fan.
Oh, so that's like...
I feel like the hip hop era was probably over early 2000s. and it transitioned into like the rap game.
So you're like Wu-Tang Clan.
I never liked Wu-Tang like that. I like Method Man.
Why? You was a Method Man fan?
Yeah, Method was dope to me. Still is. Mm-hmm. Still is. At 50, he's still dope. He can still out-rap most of the people out today.
That's very interesting. Who do you listen to now?
As far as rap?
Yeah, this as far as rap or hip hop, or who do you play inside your car?
Hip hop. I still listen to pop. Pop, Goody Mob. Sometimes a little X, but it make me feel like I gotta go rob somebody.
That's real.
You know what I mean? And not too much pop, because pop was sad. I didn't realize how sad pop was until I got happy. Pop, you listen to a whole Tupac album, you start looking at life different.
That's real.
You know what I mean?
But that don't mean that you're going to act upon it, do it?
Not at all. Not at all. You got to have a stronger mind than that. You know, influences, you have to watch what you take in, but, you know, with music or movies or anything you take in, you got to watch for those type of spirits, but at the same time, you got to understand yourself. You know what I mean? I think I bounced around. Let me get back to my point. My point is, because I made a bunch of points, I was going to make a few points right there, like watching your spirit and stuff like that. You know, you have to be careful what you work in. But at the same time, you also have to understand your weaknesses. Like if I used to rob people, I'm not going to listen to DMX if that's not my character, in my character anymore. You know what I mean? If I used to sell dope, there's certain things I'm not going to partake in or listen to.
That's real.
Because if I'm a changed man, you know, I got to change the landscape.
Now, I do agree with that. But as a producer...
There's always a but.
Yeah, well, henceforth, my bad.
Henceforth. It's a new word. Henceforth.
But with all that being said, with me being a producer and studying multiple genres of music, you're right when it comes to a point of you do have to have a strong mind. I will say that. You
gotta be solid.
Right, you know, but to a point, it's like I still, like you say, you know, listen to Pac and things of that nature. I still listen to my Currency. And
how you feel about Lecrae?
I'm not a fan of Lecrae.
I don't know what music he does anymore. It was gospel, but somewhere after that cipher on like what's the face Sway, when he did the 5 Fingers of Death, it's like he went somewhere. Now he's a rapper. Because I
feel like it doesn't have to be just categorized inside one genre.
It doesn't have to be, but
like art is art.
I don't think he's staying.
Just like how you do poetry. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
The only difference is that it has instrumentals behind your poetry.
Who told you I do poetry though?
Huh?
Who told you I
Come
do
on,
poetry?
G. Come on, G. Come on now.
I do poetry?
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying?
I do a little sun, roses of red. That's it. That's the poem.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I feel like each individual has a way of expressing themselves.
Right.
You know? And that's kind of like my whole like way of looking at music. Like, it doesn't mean that you're going to act, you know, upon those things. You know,
I doubt he's saying anything risque. You know, it's just the type of music. If you sold me, you know, a spiritual rap, and now it sounds like I don't know what you're doing now. He's a confusing artist to me.
Who's that?
Lecrae.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I don't even, man. Once you said his name, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even.
You had a rebuttal and you didn't even know who I was talking about.
I have more respect for artists like John Gibbs. Have you ever heard of John Gibbs?
No.
John Gibbs is like one of them type of artists where I believe he still does Christian music and he is a Christian, but at the same time he shows who he is. He don't hide behind his flaws, and I think that's what a lot of people, you know, have a hard time with, huh?
Or his faith, like, you know.
Or his faith.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, right. Like, I'm a Christian, but I don't walk around Jesus.
But you have people like that, though.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on, G.
Those are fanatics. I'm not a fanatic.
So what are you?
I'm just an actual Christian. That's it.
So what? So let me ask you,
I follow God.
What makes up a natural Christian?
Just being Bible based and understand your relationship and having a relationship with God, a personal relationship. You know, you want me to get into it? You want to get saved right now? Confess with your mouth and your tongue.
I do believe that.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
And
that's all it takes. It's not all the weird stuff that people tell you, like you got to drink milk at 7:00 so you can meet Jesus because John did in the Bible. It's not all of that stuff. You know, I think some things are just reserved for the fanatics, and then when you're an actual person that has a relationship with God, you believe in Jesus Christ, you believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. If you just believe, it'll show in your life.
So do you believe that all these stories happen?
All of what stories?
Like all of the stories that's inside the Bible?
For me, the Bible is just an account of everybody's experience with God. We're walking, living, breathing testimonies.
Facts.
The Bible, if you read the front of the Bible, it's telling you it's a living testimony. It's a testimonial of people's relationship with God.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you actually have to do the same exact thing that they did. It tells you about their experience. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to just, you know what I mean, don't get out on a cruise ship and try to walk on the water.
I feel that.
You know what I mean?
But a lot of people think that's how it is. They think like, oh, you know, once getting saved, it's like you're not going to backslide or anything of that nature. You know?
No, the backside is like to denounce. If you denounce your relationship with God, that's when you're backslide.
That's real.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that being saved doesn't mean that you're never going to mess up and make any mistakes. We have to die to ourselves every day.
So that kind of goes into, how do you feel about Biden? You know, decriminalizing
how
marijuana.
You roll Biden and the Bible together because it rhyme a little bit.
No.
That's what you're doing.
Because I'm talking about marijuana.
Oh, okay.
And I'm talking
That's
about,
a nice rollout.
THC at this point, you know, is looked at, you know, especially inside the Christian world, you know, just to tie it all back in, inside the Christian world is looked at as a bad thing.
When you say the Christian world, like, do you hear a bunch of Christians talking about how bad marijuana is?
Yeah, man.
I've never said anything about it.
Well,
I don't know anybody that talks about it.
That leads me to my next point because I feel like it comes down to choice. That's why I was asking you, what was your perception on Biden and, you know what I'm saying, him trying to get back elected, you know, with the whole, what his term is about up or whatever like that. And how do you feel about, you know, him saying like, hey, he feel like all states should be legal with marijuana, being that, you know, you do, you know, follow Christianity and you are a Christian. Yeah.
So it's the same with alcohol. You know, alcohol was once the illegal substance of this day. You know, anytime you overuse anything, if it messes up your ability to conduct business or if it's more important than your wife and your kids and your family, then that's bad. And if you overindulge in anything, you know what I mean? Like if you're using marijuana so your feet hurt and your back hurt and you need to relax, so you're totally stressed out and you need to just get the edge out, whatever you may do, whatever you use it for, if it don't mess up your relationships, including this one, then that's on you. I know people in church that are hawked up on painkillers all day.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And to me, that's the same thing when you misuse things.
Right.
When you overindulge in things. If you want to have a glass of wine, that's fine if you ain't no alcoholic. But if you're an alcoholic and you drinking 3, 4, 5 shots a day, come on, man, it's messing up something. So that's my stance on it. Do I promote it? Nah.
Why wouldn't you promote it?
That ain't for me. I don't promote Tylenol either. You know, hey, whatever you got to do to get by, if you feel the need to do it, and if it doesn't mess with your spirit, and it doesn't mess with your relationships, who am I to say anything? But if it's tearing down the fort, you might need to rethink it.
Right.
You know?
I feel that.
Well, what's your stance on it?
I'm for.
You look like.
I'm for it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm
look
totally
like you
for
grew it yourself.
Yeah, well, listen.
Don't incriminate yourself.
No, he ain't gonna incriminate nothing. But no, I'm definitely for it, and the reason being is because, like you said, it's a balance. That's kind of one of the reasons why I kind of support it, and
it shouldn't be illegal no more, though.
Right.
It shouldn't be.
And that's my whole, view take on it. But see, with jobs and things of that nature, they have people taking randoms now, and it's like, especially, people who are trying to get themselves together. It feels like their legs is literally being cut right up from up under them or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because of the simple fact that this is something that they do to relax or meditate or just to kind of take their mind off of the day. Now, I see it from a standpoint of
but if you gotta smoke 3-4 blunts just to get by every day, you might need to get your life together.
I agree. And I definitely, well, 3 or 4 blunts. I mean, I don't know.
That's a lot.
You think that's a lot?
Yeah, it's probably not a lot to you, but it's a lot. That's a lot.
I mean, I can understand that. Okay, 3 or 4 blunts, that may be a little bit.
You're not going to work.
See, but that's okay, right? That's different. Yeah. Now, if a person is going to work, taking care of their responsibilities, priorities, then 3 or 4 blunts, I don't see no problem with it.
That's a lot. Like, how you gonna get all that done?
It's still
it'll slow you down.
Yeah, it will slow you down. But nobody said that, you know what I'm saying, it still can't be accomplished. The task can't be accomplished.
And there's still there are some exceptions to the rule. But in most cases, most people that that are burn it down like that all day long, they ain't got much going on in their life. Because the law is what it is right now. It's illegal, and most jobs do test for marijuana.
Right.
So you can't get no piss test knowing that you've been burning down all day. You know what I mean? All day, every day. What you're accomplishing. So more than likely, you ain't going to want no conventional job. So you got to figure out other ways to make money because you prefer to do that all day.
Because it's illegal.
Yeah.
Basically. Like, so if it was legal, what would the problem be then?
Well, I mean, there's some slow reaction things too. Do you really want them driving a forklift? You know what I mean? I
need
you to react and respond to things properly. I worked on the forklift dock before. If you was high, and I don't want you nowhere near me.
And that's my only thing is like, as long as you can cooperate off of it, like that's just like
operate.
You're right. Yeah. I'm not going to give a person a chance if I know for a fact they're going to, mess up along the lines. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if you high or drunk though, it's gonna change some of your abilities to perform certain jobs. It's gonna alter
certain jobs.
Now, if you just taking boxes all day or flipping burgers, you might be able to get by.
Well, again,
and that's cool. But if you're making music, but if you if you're doing something that involves a chance for you to hurt somebody, I need you to be all the way alert. I don't need you to have no slow reactions to nothing.
I feel that. Well, I guess it comes down to the extent of the job then, because me being a producer.
Or if you're going to do it responsibly. That just put a nice button on my stance of, if you're going to do it, that's up to you.
That's real.
I've been down that road. I loved it. But I didn't do it when I was at work. I didn't do it when I had responsibilities.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I ain't passing no judgments on nobody that do it. That's all you. But be responsible, whatever you do.
Mm-hmm.
But some people have a glass of wine before they go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool for him.
My granddad.
That's cool for him.
You know what I'm saying?
But it might not be cool for homeboy over here to do it.
That's real.
He gonna go to work and mess up. Now you ain't got no job because you wanted to do it because somebody else get to do it before they go.
I still feel like it all ties into the power of influence
and
choice
and being responsible. A lot more men need to get into
being responsible.
You know, and that makes me want to segue into, the state of manhood these days. I hear a lot of guys, especially younger guys under 30, and even in their 30s and 40s, they don't want marriage, and I feel like a lot of that is because of the responsibility value of it.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But you shouldn't walk around proud that you don't want no responsibilities. You are a man.
I feel that.
That comes with the territory.
Right.
Everything that you out here working hard for, busting your behind for, once you get there, wherever there is, that's what you're doing it for. You're going to want to make sure your kids get some of that good stuff that you got going on. Your wife, you know what I mean? You want to share that with somebody.
I think, to be honest with you,
most people.
I think, our younger generation is inside the way of wanting it now.
Wanting what now?
Just the lavishness, the fantasies, the beautiful islands, because of what they see on media. What is portrayed. If you look back inside a couple of years back ago, it wasn't like that. Like if you think about, all of the certain name brands and things of that nature, that prices is just.
That's why the bootleggers stay in business.
Outmatched. Yeah.
We want it so bad right now, even though I can't afford it. I'm gonna wear the fake version of it.
Well, see, I don't know about that, G.
It's a lot of fake Louis belts walking around. These Hermes belts.
Yeah, well, listen.
Dude, you ain't even got a car.
I can't.
And you got a Hermes belt on.
That's what's up.
That ain't real.
Lilo, it ain't happening.
Not you. I'm just saying in general. Yeah. Like it's cats out there doing that.
And I feel sorry for
wait till you can get it. Even though it's probably made at the same place the bootleggers are getting theirs from.
Probably.
You know what I mean? It's still, everything's cheaper quality now.
Well, you gotta pay to play.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. But as far as being a man, like keeping your word,
right,
and being somebody that's responsible. That understands how to reach goals. Like there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can't do if you set your mind to it. And a lot of guys feel like, I don't know. The conversation. You young. You're a young man.
I mean, I'd say
you're a young man.
I mean, well, for one, you know what I'm saying, I've been blessed to not have any kids. That's for
you're blessed to not have kids.
Not right. Well, not like that. I can have kids.
No, you can't.
No, I can
call
have
you
kids.
Stumpy.
No, I can have kids, but I choose not to right now.
Yeah.
So from what
Why not? Why do you don't want to have kids right now?
Because I don't feel like I'm personally content or where I need to be as a young man first. It's just like what you said earlier. Just along those lines, like if I don't feel like I can be happy for myself, then how can I prove that to anybody else or any other relationship? Like it's not possible. And I feel like with our younger generation, we get so, caught up into the glitz and the glamour of a relationship, or they make me so happy for the time being, and not actually building a genuine relationship or a friendship or whatever it is.
A real connection with somebody.
A real connection with somebody.
Yeah, you have to establish that first. That's the best way.
Exactly.
Telling you somebody that has kids outside of marriage. That's a burner right there.
I believe it.
You don't want to have to be a weekend father and child support. That made things kind of tight,
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like I could understand where you're coming from, but I could never really feel where you're coming from. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't want
you to. I don't want you to. I just want you to hear it.
But I hear it though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I hear it from multiple people. And like I said before, it's like something that I can honestly say that I have been personally just trying to work better on myself to be in a better state for when that time do come, with a child.
Don't take forever though.
Nah, I don't plan on taking forever, man. That's the reason why I'm gonna cut different podcasts.
Yeah, we don't pay on time either.
Yeah, I know it. It's all coming, man. It's all coming.
Yeah. So, I get that. That's real. That's real. You definitely don't want to keep bringing kids into this world in a impoverished situation. You know what I mean?
You see what I'm saying?
Like you definitely need to be financially set. But I feel like a lot of the younger generation they take their time getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Take too long getting there. These are things that we need to be putting into young men like earlier. Don't wait until you're 30 to try to get on your feet.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But I mean,
there's always a but with you, ain't it?
Henceforth. You got to give time for a young man to grow too.
This side doesn't last forever, though. How long is you gonna be growing?
I understand that, but sometimes, like, depending on the individual, sometimes things come faster to the individual, and sometimes things take time.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I can only.
Are you defending yourself, or you defending the whole everybody under 35? Because it sounds like you're defending something specific. I'll put you in the hot seat. A little bit. It's a little bit. I'll put my lighter up.
Maybe. I just want you to explain a little bit more on what you was,
What?
What you meant. Like, explain a little bit more of what you just said. Like, what you mean when you say that?
Are you talking about something specific? Someone specific?
No.
What are you talking about?
No, see, that it done came and went.
You know what that is?
What?
That's that ooh wee. That's that ooh wee. You can't keep up with me.
It done came and went, bro. It done came and went. See, that's what I'm saying, man. We got y'all keep, you know what I'm saying?
But I just stand on the point of, like, you look at our counterparts,
mm-hmm.
and when I say that, we're black, but our counterparts, white, Spanish, Asian. This is it's a certain type of grooming that comes with their young people. They're ready for bank accounts and responsibilities. You look at most of them. By 25, they got a career, they got a house, they got a wife, they got a dog, they got some kids. A majority of the time. I'm not saying there's not people out there that's not like that, but a majority of the time, if you look at the stats.
Mm-hmm.
70 to 80% of them are married, 2-parent households, and thriving. Us, less than 20% of us have that going on.
Mm.
And a lot of that comes to with your upbringing. Like, we got so many songs and movies telling us, take your time, or he ain't shit, she ain't shit. We got a lot of that going on in our culture.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us don't even have trauma, but we go into the world acting as if we've been traumatized. You got kids coming from a 2-parent household out here not wanting to be married, not wanting to go to college, not wanting to get their career started, thinking that they got some old dude that sit on the block telling them, and they 35 years old, talking about, young man, nah, you got time. You got plenty of time to get your life together. You 35. Where's your mortgage?
Yeah, no, I feel that.
You know what I mean?
I feel that.
You have to set up for it's kind of like something, I remember something my mother told me a long time ago. And I'm not trying to talk like I ain't made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
A plenty. I made a lot of bit mistakes. You ain't heard that before you're young. A lot of bit is just a whole lot of black people.
Uh-huh.
But she told me the first time I wanted a house, the preparation of it was believing in it. Going to get me a box
mm-hmm.
and putting something in that box, symbolizing that I want to move. I want to move into a house.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get out of this apartment. So I started packing things. Before I got approved, before I put my name on the application, I started doing that.
Wow.
Having that kind of faith that I want to move forward, and I'm preparing myself to move forward. See, if you're in a slump and you keep living like I'm in a slump, that's where you're going to stay at.
Right.
But if I know eventually I want a wife and kids, I have to prepare my life for that.
Right.
I know I need to get this money right, or have an idea of it, what direction I'm going in. I know that once I do that, I need a house. so I can have somewhere stable for this family that I'm hoping for, that I want eventually. You probably don't want it right now.
All right, so look, I'm gonna say this, and like this is just what I.
Well, go on, get to it, man. Don't make excuses for it.
No. It's the right thing to say.
Burn them up.
I feel like, and this is towards parents. I feel like parents are can sometimes be too protective, especially inside our own black culture. And the reason why I honestly say that is because you was just saying like,
what direction you going right now is what I'm trying to. Where you finna land at?
Okay.
Land your plane.
Okay. Like you said, okay, so you was like, you have a whole bunch of different races. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You have a lot of Latins, you have a lot of Spanish and things of that nature that,
statistically.
That, help. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to see their child from a young standstill, you know what I'm saying, do well. And we do too. The problem is that, and the problem is that, sometimes you do have to kind of take that protection off and allow your child to be able to see what it is that, you know what I'm saying, is out here inside the real world and experience life at that age of getting a job, of supplying for yourself, of understanding like, hey, everything just don't grow on trees. See, I feel like with a lot of our culture, just being inside certain areas inside my life, it's like, oh, okay, you have all the time inside the world to do exactly what you said, smoke, you know what I'm saying, talk to this chick, talk to that chick, just distractions. Mm-hmm. And when you have time to be able to do those things, life hits you a little bit more quicker, which makes you a little bit more unprepared, as time moves forward. So
that's a prime example of what I was saying.
Right.
A lot of our counterparts, I'll use that word again. Mm-hmm. You can let your kids. We can continue letting our kids be and live and do, follow their hearts, follow their dreams. Mm-hmm. We still got to establish those guidelines.
Right. And I feel like that's what my parents
did a great job. Dream.
Right.
It's going to take this, that, and that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can go out here and wild out a little bit, but make sure you're doing this still. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're doing that still. You got all this space right here to, experience life that you need, like you need to or like you want to.
Right.
But I need you to set up. You're going to be a dentist? You're going to be a producer?
Yeah.
I need you to stay on that path, sir.
And then you gotta think too. A lot of things it's not cookie cutter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. Like the pathway. Like I tell people all the time, the pathway to being a doctor is a little bit more easier laid out than for a person that might want to become a sound designer or a.
Is it?
Yes. How?
Because if that's what you really want, there's some guidelines out there for it.
Yeah, there are some guidelines for it, but every entrepreneur has its own path. Yeah. And speaking of that, like I said before, like you have your hot 100 jobs of the U.S., and then you have, jobs that people have never even heard of but still make a comfortable living.
Yeah, what's the percentage of dudes that make it to the NBA, though?
You know what I mean? I know it's very slim.
It's slim.
Yeah.
NFL, slim. Everybody ain't going to be 28 and get discovered like DMX did.
Yeah, but everybody has the ability to do it.
You have the ability to do it, but the beginning of most people's careers start early. And you have to like beat that. You know what I mean? We could have got DMX earlier had he not had all them other distractions going on, the drugs, the robbing, all the other crazy stuff he was doing before he hit big. But we looking at one story, and everybody's out here. I'm just let me land this real quick. Mm-hmm. We looking at that like that's the way we got time to do that, and we don't. Everybody's not going to be Earl. You know what I mean?
Right, but
most of the time you gotta be LL. You gotta be doing this thing since you was 16 and follow the blueprint to get there.
Yeah, but what is exactly the blueprint?
You can tell you can tell the tree by its fruit. If you want to be that, you're doing it every day. You own it every day. That's your primary focus. You're doing it. You don't take days off.
Right.
Ain't no days off when you want to get somewhere. Every day that you don't do something, you might be pushing yourself back 5 years or 2 years or a year. You don't know if that's the day you could have met Russell Simmons or Puffy or whoever.
That's real.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you weren't doing it that day, you weren't in position to get those blessings or get that opportunity. Now you got to keep waiting.
Right.
But if you're doing something every day, you're that much closer to getting to where you need to go. You don't know where that chance is going to come. You don't know when that opportunity is going to come.
So you would say that it all comes with risk.
Everything comes with risk.
Yeah. Experiences.
Yeah.
Because DMX...
But you can't be sitting around here smoking on your mama couch talking about, hell, you know, I'm just 27 years old. DMX got picked up when he was 28.
Nah.
You know?
Nah. It's the action
that opportunity. That was a miracle.
Right.
That he still got picked up in spite of.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything that God got for you is gonna come to you, but at the same time, he was still actively pursuing that.
Right.
But he had some other distractions. But if you sitting up here talking about, yeah, I'm gonna hit big, you ain't been in the studio in 4 years.
It's the act.
You know what I mean? You
right.
ain't did nothing that shows that that's what you want to do.
Facts.
You ain't picking up nothing and putting them in that box and saying this is where I want to go.
Right.
We got to do that as men, as leaders, as fathers, as husbands. We got to provide. You know what I mean? And you can't do that just dreaming.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So that's my whole point. I don't want to stump on nobody.
No, you go ahead, man. No,
I don't want to stump on nobody.
No, you're absolutely fine.
Yeah,
Trust me.
And I appreciate your standpoint too. I mean, yeah, if that's what you want to do, and it may or may not happen, but and it very well may.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to show. You can't be waiting to be the unicorn. You know, you talking about one of the most, and I'm using Earl as an example. Like you talking about one of the most prolific rappers in the world. He was gonna be that regardless. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Little Peanut that's sitting on the couch talking about, you ain't heard me spit before? You know what I mean? The dude talking about, hey, I want to be a doctor. You don't want to go to medical school? Everybody running around the hood. It's cute when you the smart kid walking around the hood and everybody like, boy, you going to be something.
Mm-hmm.
You smart. You going to get it. You know, it's cute at 12, 14, 15, 20. But after you get out of high school and people realize that why you ain't go to college if you want to be a doctor? You've been the smartest dude around the hood all this time.
Like
and you don't want to do it?
Where's the work? You know, you have to find the work.
Yeah. Thank you for supporting my point.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime,
I appreciate that, man.
No problem, man.
You know I got a GED now. Yeah, I finally took it. I got a 17.
Dang, that's what's up.
Is that passing, first of all? I don't know.
Nah.
I'm talking to the camera.
Yeah, man.
But that's you know, as men, we got to start thinking different. We got to start doing different. Just because we're on this side of things and our communities are almost non-existent, but our whole culture are thriving off of music and fashion that don't really fit what we are as a people. You know, overly feminine men, overly sexualized girls.
I already know about
Our kids ain't in the household with their parents.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And we around here bopping like everything's sweet. Everything is not sweet.
Of course not.
But everybody's fine. You can't. What's friendship these days?
What is
everybody's stabbing each other in the back, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then people be late.
Okay. Look, see, cut different. Cut.
Yeah. But man, I appreciate you coming through, man.
No problem, man. I thank you for having me, man.
No problem. Come again.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Come again, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, this has been Cut Different. Hashtag Cut Different on all platforms, streaming and social. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you like to. But at the end of the day, these are our 2 cents. Spend them or save them. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you spent some time with your boy. We out of here.